Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Horse Center this lovely Wednesday. I'm Wild Jamie, and with me is the amazing Swiss Army Sean. And our special guest today is very special indeed. He has so much respect from all of the colonies that he rides in. His name comes up over and over again. Multiple stakes winning, Triple Crown winning jockey. We have Jesus Castanon. Welcome to the show, Jesus.
Well, thank you very much for having me here, guys.
And as I was saying before we went live, this is one of the interviews I am the most excited about ever because you rode my favorite horse of all time. But we will get to that in a bit. First of all, let's get a little bit on your background because this is your first time on the show with us. So we like to kind of cover a little bit of everything. You're from Mexico and you come from a horse racing family. Is that right?
Yes. I come. My dad used to train horses on few, and that's how I started. I have a couple brothers that also work on the racetrack. Two of them, They was riding too. So that's basically how I started.
Okay, very cool. And you actually are one of 10 children, is that right?
Yes, yes,
Wow. Your
yes,
parents
I
loved each
am.
other very much, Jesus. That's
Yeah, it
good
was
for
it
them.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I bet. Okay, so you actually are also currently dealing with something right now. You are 43% win for 2023, but have faced a bit of a setback. You want to tell us what you're going through currently?
Well, it was one of those deals that it happens. It happens uh, to a lot of us, and I fractured my fibula, and I've been off for a couple weeks. So I think I'm gonna be off for 2 more weeks. So basically, I'm just gonna kick back, relaxing, and try to spend as much time as I can with the family, which now's the time to do it. And I just basically I cannot wait to get back on the horse again.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are so excited to see you back here. We've got a comment here from Jody Wright Alvarez, very special
Oh,
person.
I like her. She's a good friend of mine too.
Awesome. Very cool. And Jesus, you've been riding since you were 16. Is that right?
Yes. When I started galloping, I was galloping in Tijuana, Mexico. I was about 12 years old when I started, and then my brother Antonio Castanon, he um, he moved up to California, and uh, and that's when everything started from there. He brought us all the way. He brought me and my rest of my family over here to the States, and that's started riding in California.
Okay. So, how was that early part of your career for you? Tell us a little bit about
Oh
that.
my gosh. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I just when I first came to the States, I rode in Hollywood Park. That was a long
Oh,
time ago,
yeah.
'89. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, it was so amazing. Everywhere you turn around, you get to see so many good riders around. Back then, I was just so happy just to be around and covered with a lot of good riders there in
Well,
California.
you
Hmm.
certainly fit in with that crowd. I actually told you this before we went live, but just so the audience knows, everyone knows I'm married to Jockey Willie Martinez, who definitely can hold his own with anyone. But I
Yes.
just asked for a little advice. Hey, you got any questions that I should ask Jesus? And he said, that guy looks better on a horse than anyone. No one has ever looked better on a horse than Jesus Castanon. Pretty high praise indeed, coming from someone who has always ridden with the best. So, and you've definitely earned
Ye-
it. I mean, whew, like I told you, the day before you got hurt, I went to the races and I watched you win two races on the turf, and I was just floored. My jaw was like watching you because you do. I mean, you look phenomenal. You get tons of run out of a horse, and it's just beyond impressive, your capabilities. And I can't wait to see you get back up here at Tampa. So excited for that.
Yeah, thank you. It was amazing day.
Yes.
Actually, you missed one. I win three on the
Oh, well,
grass.
I missed one. Yeah, I was. I wasn't
No,
there all
yeah,
day, so you're right.
yeah. Well, you got to see me in two of them. Yeah, there it was pretty exciting. It's just I was just lucky to be able to be on those type of horses. You having you ride those type of horses, and just basically you put in whatever you think is the right spot, and they basically they're ready to go whenever you ask them.
Oh, well, you're being very humble because, as I said, I don't know if anyone else could have won. Because, I mean,
Well,
just the moves that you made and the way you looked, I was like, holy cow, I have not seen a rider look this good and I don't know how long. And I watch a lot of races.
well,
So
I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you.
good for you. Now, as I said at the start of the show, you got to ride probably my favorite horse of all time. I just have a big heart for Shackleford. I love big, flashy, speedy horses, and you don't get flashier or speedier than Shackleford. So please tell us, what is it like to ride a horse like that?
See, one thing, it was amazing. Amazing riding him was a unbelievable. So much great experience. I probably, I did get to ride quite a few nice horses back then, but when I got to ride a Shackleford, it was just one of those push button horses. I mean, it was just a strong horse, and he is basically every time that somebody was next to him, we just put him away. I
Yeah,
mean, it was just amazing. Amazing horse to be riding it.
sure. And you won many great races on Shackleford, but probably the highlight's going to have to be the 2011 Preakness Stakes. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was. Well, I'll tell you how I pick. I want to tell you how I pick him up first. I got lucky. When I went to Austrian, I was riding for Hotel Romans, and I was basically second call, and that horse just happened that he was there, there for me at the right time. The Candace Orman was supposed to ride it. He ended up picking up another horse from Mr. Billy Mott, and I went ahead and rode him. Honestly, I didn't know the horse at all, and he just threw away. He went so easy after he was after a few months layoff, and from there on, it was just like every race he was running, he was getting better and better.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you have to ride a horse like that different with the as big as he was and stuff and speed? You ride him a little bit different?
Uh, n- well, I just basically what I kind of try to use like with Chocolate for I was just kind of let him do his own thing, and I was not try to be too aggressive on him in the beginning because I knew where he was gonna be. And me riding another horse, I'm just basically um, let him take me to the race first, and then from there I can figure out what he likes during the race.
So explain that day, the Preakness and the atmosphere compared to every other race.
He was very emotional that day. You see, my dad, he used to really back then. He passed away on November on 2010. So that was 5 months before I went to Preakness, and I always wanted to be riding one of the biggest races. And my dad wasn't there, and when I stopped to really come up with this, but when I get to when I was riding the horse, I just first thing went through my mind it was my dad. So when I get to the final, uh, the 70 yards to the wire, I mean, it just come to me that I really couldn't believe I was about to win the Preakness, and just shot me so and yeah, it was a little. I was upset because my dad wasn't able to be with us that time, but it was the best experience ever.
Did you ever get to ride any of Shackleford's offspring, or you pay attention to
I
any of them?
I No, I did. Yes, I did,
Yeah.
and I bought a filly, and I had a couple babies from Shackleford.
Awesome.
So yeah, so I did get to ride quite a few from him too. So yeah.
What were the
that's
difference between? Were there any similarities, or were they completely?
No, no one can replace Shackleford. To be honest, I mean,
Sure.
yeah.
We've got a comment here from the Peanut Gallery, as I call him, Willie Martinez. Jesus is one of the most respectful human beings that I have ever shared the room with. His whole family is a class act. I wish I could look half as good on a horse like Jesus. Very talented rider. That's actually something that I wanted to touch on. So we go out and we do these jockey interviews, you know, here at Tampa. We've done several where we ask people, oh, who's the smartest? Who's this? Who's that? You were always such a popular answer when it came to the smartest rider, the rider that you respect the most, your favorite rider in the room. I mean, you are so well respected among the colonies that you ride with, which is wonderful for your riding ability, for your talent, as well as for your advice that you give people, how you respect people, like Willie said there. So my question is, what are you the most proud of as a rider? Like, what's your biggest accomplishment in your mind? Is it like your talent, how you look on a horse, or how you treat others? What are you most proud of?
I'm gonna say that the way you treat everybody around the track with respect, and that's the most.
Yeah, for sure. And you definitely have that in spades. And a big one that we kept getting is intelligence. Everyone says that about you. The trainers that you work with, the riders who ride with you, you have a huge reputation for being a very smart rider. So, and obviously it's genetic, because I hear that your oldest son is in law school, right?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
I don't know where he got that from, but he didn't get it from me. He's a smart kid.
Well, he's smart like you. He just went a different path, but good
Yes,
for you.
yeah. Yeah.
And good for him as well. Very happy to hear that.
So, Jesus, you're good on all kinds of horses, but as a bettor, if you give me, kind of like Shackelford, if you give me a speed horse and you're the jockey, I'm all over it. Do you feel like that as a jockey too, that you give yourself a speed horse, like, and there's no others, you're good to go?
Yeah. I
Yep.
just,
What makes you so good out of the gate and with a speed horse?
it's all about, for me, it's all about the horse. Everything is about the horse. You have a horse with the speed, and a horse that he likes to be up front, he's gonna break to the front no matter what. I mean, yes, he could stumble or whatever, and there is some horse that stumble the first jump, and then the second jump, boom, they be in front. And I just basically try not to just let them do their thing, and then my job is do it from the 3/8 to the wire, or from the cuerpo to the wire. Just depends about the pace.
Okay. So you mentioned Hollywood Park. You've been running at Tampa. You've run in Kentucky. What's your favorite track you've ever ridden at?
Saratoga.
Oh, good answer.
I got a few. I got Saratoga is the first one, Keeneland, and Saranira.
That's a good
Is there
list.
Is there any track you haven't been at that you're like, I want to cross that off before I retire?
Let's see. I gotta start thinking about it, because it's gonna be soon when I retire.
Yeah. We'll
see.
be heading to Japan or something. I feel like you've already ridden all the nice tracks here.
Yeah. Let's see. You know what? I think I have been in every track, track, but I mean, I've been
maybe the new ones.
Wait, where's Terry? He's gonna bring up Golden Gate Fields. Have you been to Golden Gate Fields?
I've been in Golden Gate. I've been in Hollywood Park. I mean, and I can come up with that. I mean, there is a lot of them that I've been. I probably rode in all the racetracks around the United States.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Any place over in Europe you want to try out before you?
UK. Yeah, that would be a good experience to be there. I went to Macau. For 3 months. It was a contract. Okay. Yeah, it was pretty. It was a different lifestyle, but it was okay.
How was the riding over there? How were the races?
The wrong way.
Yeah.
The wrong grass. I tell you one thing. When I first went up there, I didn't know anything about it. So the guy calls me up. He says, Jesus, I was riding in Kentucky. They called me up and they asked me I wanted to go to I wanted to take a contract to Macau. I go, what is that? They told me it was by Hong Kong. I said, well, what the heck? Let's go. So I ended up went up there. I didn't know nothing about it. So honestly, I don't even knew that it was they're running the wrong way. So I thought it was everything just like over here. So they got me on a horse, but thank God that the horse already know. So I just
Right.
let the horse break out of the gate and sit and just wait. And I got lucky that day. That day that I went 3 races right away.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you
But
work? Did you work out horses going that way before you went right into a
no,
race?
no,
Whoa.
no. It was different. It is fun
Did-
riding like that too. But it was I really enjoy it. Really. And I probably say that was most of the place, the one of the places that I got to learn about riding on the grass because everything is nothing but grass.
Oh,
Yeah,
very cool. Well,
exciting. It
obviously
was
it
exciting.
worked.
Yeah, I
We've got
really
a
like it a
couple
lot though.
comments I want to touch on here. Terry Hay says, how about Golden Gate Fields? I knew it was coming. And Jody Ray Alvarez says, he's a huge role model, always gives good advice. Absolutely. He is known for that. So I have a follow-up question. What is your
Okay.
favorite surface to ride on? Dirt, turf, synthetic, poly? What is your favorite surface?
Well, hold on. Hey, hey, team. I'm in the interview right now. Can you hear me?
We know what this is like, right, Sean?
Yes.
Sorry.
Live
Yeah.
TV.
No, it's okay. We have kids
Um,
interrupting us all the time. We are so used to this. Don't worry.
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna say that the grass. I like the grass um and what do you call the other one? The tapira.
Okay.
For some reason, I get along good with tapira.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is it
Very
kind of like
cool.
the turf? Because I feel like
it is a
jockeys
little
and
bit.
horses, yeah, both. If you like Tapita,
It
you like
has,
the turf.
yeah, it has. It's like a little bit the same cushion. It's about the same
Okay.
cushion. Yes. Yeah.
Another, I'm jealous of how you guys can do all of what you do, and I don't know how you guys can do all what you can do. But another thing here is now you're hurt. You're at home. You get to kick back. If I got home and kicked back, I would never be able to go back 24/7 to the work ethic you guys do. So how hard is that? Or you already said you're ready to go. So is it like you're ready to go and let's go, or is it hard to do?
I guess for what I have been doing this for such a long time that I can be off. Like I'm always on the move. Like for some reason, as riders, we always active. We always active and me getting breaking leg, it will never stop me of working out. And the only thing I get to say that I don't get to watch races because if I get to watch races, that drives me crazy. I wanted to go
Okay.
back. I want to go back. Yeah.
Okay, so actually, I want to kind of change gears a little bit, if you don't mind. Something that has been weighing big here on us at Horse Racing Today and kind of in the racing community in general is mental health. Following up the tragic circumstances with Avery Wisman, the young jockey who, struggled with mental health issues, seeing what you guys have to go through day in and day out with the constant criticism, the online bullying, just the mental aspects as far as, if you get taken off a horse and you don't understand why that happened, or there's so many things that you guys have to go through. Something that was brought up yesterday, we had Alberto Burgos on and we asked him, what does he struggle with as a jockey? And he mentioned being away from his family. A lot of times you just have to spend so much time away from your family following whatever racetrack. So what would you like people to know about what's hard about being a jockey? Because people just see, they see the wins and they see the purse money and they're like, oh, this is great. Like, you guys are at the top of the game. You're these super athletes. You get all this great attention, but there's a lot of challenges that come with that. What do you want people to know about what's hard about your job? What is really the struggle of being a jockey that they don't see?
Well, first of all, the number one is the family. Being a rider is a job that you just have to basically have to follow your business wherever they go. And having kids and having your wife that when they're little they can follow you, they can go with you wherever you go. But once they're ready to go to school, it's tough. It's tough. It's tough because the mama has to be with the kids. And it is probably to me is the number one because of being away from the family. Number two is about like how can you handle your business with the people. Don't let to me is like I don't let nothing bother me. Like if I did something wrong, I know I did something wrong. I never let it get to me because the more you think about it, the more you damage yourself. You know, um, I try and the best thing to do is just kind of something happens in the race, just basically forget about it because you cannot come back home, bring that to your place, and thinking over and over because the next day you have to show up to talk to the trainers. Basically, what I do, I just forget about it, move on. I got my family waiting for me at the house, and they're happy to see me. That's the most important thing. Most important thing in my job. Yeah.
So
And,
part of that conversation, now that you're a veteran, it probably won't affect you and you're only out. But if you're a young rider and you get hurt like you do, it's hard to pick up your business right away. And people don't understand that while you're out, your horses are other jockeys are riding them. Explain that side of it.
well, it is tough. It is tough. Like there is like when I was younger, I thought I was a Superman. I thought I was just gonna fall off and get back in the horse the next few days or whatever, which I was able to do it. If nothing breaks on me, I was able to do it. But like if I was had a breaking leg or whatever, I wouldn't push myself to get on a horse. Um, and I know that we go through a lot of mental things that kind of try to push you to get back on the horse too quick because you're worrying about your business that you're losing right away. And that's how it is. To me, it's like in the jockey room, in the racetrack. Hey, if I get hurt, I know the horse has to be running. Right now, I take it as I'm more, what I call like I already know how everything is around the racetrack, and the horse have to keep running. And when I come back, I'm gonna be working 100% to be able to get my business back. But the younger riders this time probably they worry too much about their business losing the business while they're off, and they try to push themselves so hard to get back on the horse, and sometimes that gives them more problem later on because
Right.
sometimes they're not even ready to ride.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
what I do now, I'm just basically taking it day by day and try to be ready 100% and get back on the horse. And when I know that I'm gonna be able to get my job done.
That first horse when you work out in that first race, what's the hardest part to get back into it?
What do you mean? When I first come back from that
Like when you
injury?
first mount back up on a horse and you haven't been on a horse in a month
Uh,
or 2 months, what's the hardest part or is there nothing? It's just smile and here we are.
yeah, yeah. To me, yeah. It just, yeah, I guess I just already, it's natural. If I get on a horse, I'm excited to be on him, but just natural. Everything just so quick to you.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is impressive. We got a few comments here. Jody Wright Alvarez says, being a jockey's wife is very difficult. All we can do is support their dreams. I agree. It has its own set of challenges that come with it, but that's what a partnership is about. And, who you get paired up with in life ends up making a big difference. And we've got a comment here from Willie Martinez, my own jockey. He says he was one of the 14 of us that got kicked out from from Churchill Downs. I'm sorry,
Churchill
guys.
Downs,
I've been working all day here from Churchill Downs.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
fighting over our track insurance rights. Stand up guy for sure. Yeah, that's something that Willie actually brought up on his show was,
That's
you were there in the fight to help get the
yes.
proper insurance coverage for the riders. You want to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can do that. But back then, that was I don't even remember the year, but it was a at that year I was having a good meet. I was having a good meet, and most of the riders, like the veteran riders, got together and had to pull it off because if we don't do it for the the younger generation. They could have been. I don't think they would have been. We would have been able to get. They would have been able to get what they have already for us because of what we did. And we went through tough time to be able to get what we needed, what we deserve. I will say.
Yes.
It was pretty tough because Willie, he was Bejarano. He was back then. He was like the second leading rider, and he gave it up too because of that. And we got kicked off. They gave us about 30 days of the track,
Wow.
so it was tough, but we got it done. We
Yeah.
got it done. That was just to benefit the younger riders.
Sure. And a lot of them don't even realize how much that has impacted so many jockeys
Right.
since then. Like you guys really stood up and did something incredibly difficult and it paid off. We got one more comment.
Yes, it
I'm
was.
sorry, Sean. I keep kind of jumping in front of you, but we got one from Sean Patrick Nolan. Jesus is the definition of class, one of our favorites on and off the track. Agreed.
Thank you.
And we got one more comment here too. Julie Ramji, well done. She actually works on, Sean disappeared. She actually works with us here at Horse Racing Today, and she is a huge jockey advocate. So, yeah, she's married to Andre Ramjeet. So I don't know if you know them,
I don't know her.
Yeah,
I don't know. I know him, but I don't know her. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's his wife, and she's a huge jockey advocate as well. So we're all about advocating for people here on the show. I mean, you hear so much of the negativity. I feel like there's nothing wrong with bringing a little bit of positivity to the sport.
True.
You guys are fantastic athletes and deserve all the credit in the world. Sean, you're back. What happened?
He's back. Hey, buddy.
Yeah. Internet
back.
again. You guys spun, and I was like, we lost you. We lost me. Lost me.
Yeah, I know. I was like, hey, Sean, you're gone. Oh, no.
Yeah.
I know.
All right. Go ahead. I think
So
I
I
interrupted you.
Well, I don't know if this was brought up, but I actually said this yesterday. So you said you were one of the jockeys, and you've done other things. You said the interviews. How many times have you ever been nominated for the George Wolf Award?
No, I have never been. nominated.
Okay, so let's do 2024 Jesus Castanon. Let's nominate him for the George Wolf Award. Definitely.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Oh, well, you have so much respect. Like, it's unbelievable how much your name gets brought up in positive ways when I'm running around and chatting with the jockeys themselves, the guys that are there with you day in and day out. Everyone's like, oh, Jesus, he's the man.
Appreciate it, though. Thank you.
You also said you came from Mexico, and we've heard some weird stories about learning English. Did you already know English, or did you have to learn English?
That was tough. You know what? When I first came to the States, the only thing I knew what to say is yes and no, donut and coffee. So you'll be talking.
Those are 4 very important words.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't gonna go through starving. I was gonna be able to eat something, right? And
donuts and coffee. Why not?
Oh yeah, and it was tough. It was pretty tough. I was just whatever they're saying. They used to say to me, I just like agree. Okay, yes, no, and I don't. Just looking at their faces. They whatever. If they make a funny face, I go yes. Whatever. So, it was tough. It was tough.
Oh, that's so.
How long did it take? How long did it take you to get up with it?
It took me a long time. You see, because when I first came to California, it's a lot of Hispanic people.
Sure. Yeah.
And when I moved out of California, that was in 92. 91. I went to Seattle, Washington, and it was tough because there was no Latinos in Seattle.
Right.
It was a few, but it was tough. And then from there on, I started moving around, and I'm gonna say it took me about. I'm still learning though. It took me about. It took
No,
me
your
about
English
10
is
years.
flawless.
It took me a while to pick it up.
If you think
I
your
used
English is bad, don't listen to my Spanish, please.
Well, actually, yeah. You know what? I got into the show last night, and you said something in Spanish that was pretty cool. That was good.
Oh, thank you. I'm
That
trying.
was
I'm trying.
yeah.
I've been trying for quite some time. I'm not even going to try right now. No, never mind. I've been working too long on that. I'm going to mess it up. I just confused Churchill with Charlestown. So let me not get into the Spanish.
It's all
So,
right.
Jesus, we spoke about the hardest part of your job. What is your favorite part of your job as a jockey?
My favorite. Oh man, getting up and going up and seeing my people happy to see me.
Sure.
My trainers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That probably say that's my favorite thing.
Well,
Yeah.
you're going to see a lot of happy faces soon when you come back
Yeah.
on your bike to Tampa.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I will need that one.
when you
Amen.
first started in your career, who were some of the jockeys that really helped you along?
My brother Antonio Castanon. Yeah, he helped me out a lot. And you see, when I was there, I was riding with La 15K, and he was a guy that he was always with him to himself. He used to go out and ride his race. No matter what happened in the race, he used to come back, sit in his corner, and nobody bothered him. And Chris McCarron, another class guy. Oh, and if I needed to learn something, the number one guy that I wanted to ask, and to be honest, I don't think I did ask him. That was Lafitte, because I was afraid to him. I was afraid to go over and ask him questions, ask him about riding. You
Yeah.
know, yeah, he was. And I mean, I rode with so many good riders. Willie Shoemaker, he was amazing rider too. Oh my gosh.
Were you ever afraid of somebody on the track? Like if he screwed up to some jockey, like if you cut him off or something, were you ever like, oh crap, that's him? I don't want to mess with him.
I don't get to think much. Back then, I didn't really think much about it, and even right now, I don't think much about it. You see, I started riding in Tijuana, Mexico, right? And Tijuana, Mexico, I rode there for 3 months, and then I went to California. But for some reason, I was never afraid. I don't know. I just never really thought about it. And up to this day, I don't really think whoever is around me. I don't know. I've just been used to riding with all good riders and everything. And
Yeah, you ride
yeah,
really
and
straight too. You're not really one to
yeah,
cut people off, so might not
no,
apply to you as much.
I'm always look up for the other riders, and sometimes these kids, man,
Yeah,
yeah, they,
yeah. Sometimes they got a lot to learn. What is your
now I'm gonna say one thing. Willie Martinez, he's another rider. He always look after somebody else and himself
yeah,
too. He's always like, okay, and this how this is how we learn. Like back in the year, that's how we used to be able to like ride ourselves, try to take care of everybody around the racetrack.
sure.
You know,
Yeah,
no, honestly, it's a little different right now.
right. Yeah,
How hard of a balance? How hard of a balance is that? You want to help everybody, you want to stay safe, but at the end of the day, you want to win that race too. How hard of a
Yeah.
balance is that?
Uh, to me, when I'm gonna say that yeah, no matter what happened in the race, I'm gonna give you 100% to win the race. Um, I try, and then when I come back, I'm just basically I get mad myself if I knew I did something wrong, but um, I'm not go crazy over things.
Right.
sure. So I have a question for you. What would be your best advice to someone just getting started in the industry?
Well, my first advice is be yourself, be humble, enjoy and enjoy what you're doing. Um, things are gonna open up. It cannot be open up right away. The first couple of days, it's gonna take a little while, but just basically work hard to be able to be able to pick up some business, to
Sure.
get to people know you, you know,
Yeah.
and from there on, it's gonna take you, is going to take places. Be happy what you're doing. Show up with a lot of respect to the people, and that to me is like the most important. Just to respect everybody and be humble.
I love that. We got a
So
comment
I have
here from Horseman78. Heal fast, brother. Yeah, he's working on it.
Thank you. I know.
so I got
I
two more
just
questions. One, besides horses, family, racing, what else do you do for fun?
I play golf. I play golf and soccer. Well,
Oh,
I used to play soccer more than anything else, but now I'm playing golf.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not playing much
That-
soccer right now, but
No, no, you know what? Back then, even though if I was heel, I don't think I cannot keep up with the kids running around.
right.
Well, that's my other question is you said, eventually you're going to retire. So when you retire, what are you going to do after you retire? You're going to stay in horse racing somehow?
Well, that's what I want to do. As now I don't have anything in my mind, but I'm gonna be working on something to do on the track. I don't know. Maybe I can go ahead and give it a shot to be an agent.
Okay.
And me knowing quite a few people and good people, I probably can do okay.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah.
You better stay on the track because we would have a big hole missing if you completely left this
I,
community. We
I
need guys
know.
like you, Jesus.
You know what? It's just so yeah. It is so tough. It is so tough just to this, to get away from horses. I mean, I've been doing
Right.
horses since I was 11 years old. I've been riding for 34 years.
Right.
So it's tough to get away. It's tough.
Yeah.
My
Yeah, you
wife,
and
my wife say, my wife said to me, I said, why you don't get a job like in the office or whatever? Baby, I will not last 1 week in there because we
no.
used to be working with a bunch of people and be in the outdoors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's actually a good
Awesome.
question because I've explained situations to other people that might not get the horse racing business but the whole mental health aspect, or like if somebody can't handle the business, they might say, well, why don't they go get a 9-to-5 job? Can you explain how once you're kind of in the business, you can't walk away like you're saying?
No.
no, it's hard though. It's hard. No matter what, no matter what it is. Once you're doing what you like and with the horses, it's just hard to get away, to get out. You know, it's just to me, it's like being in the horse business is if you like it, if you enjoy what you do and love it, it's hard to get out.
Yeah.
I would think that it will be tough to kind of get out and get a job for, you know, I don't know how many hours they work a day, but
Yeah.
it's tough.
Well, and like so many people on here mentioned, like a lot of the time you guys have to deal with the stress of all of the criticism or with cutting weight or with dealing with getting spun off of horses. And the number one thing that helps recenter you is the horses. Like that's therapy itself, getting on the horses and being around the horses. So that's a big reason why you put up with a lot of the other stuff is because of that aspect. So
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
we
Yeah,
got
when you go through times like that, uh, getting back on the horse, that help you out big time.
Sure. We got a comment here from Alberto Burgos, friend of the show, recent friend of the show. He says, Castanon is one of the best riders on the turf. Always is a pleasure to me see him ride in grass and learn from him. Yes, absolutely. We've got so many comments from people saying that. And from John De Silva, no office job can give you the rush of riding in a race. Once a jockey, always a jockey. Absolutely.
So that brings up one other question too. Are you kind of glad social media just started being a big thing and wasn't around when you first started riding?
Yeah, actually, it's fun, but sometimes kind of when, as a rider, if something happened in the race, like Jamie say, like people come up and say ugly things, and that's when the rider gets like, oh man, Back then, we didn't have to really go. I mean, I didn't have to go through this. I didn't have to worry about anything. Just come back home, and I was happy to be back home safe. And I never really got to see anything on social media because back then it wasn't like that. Now
Right.
everything get to see in social media. You got people
Yeah.
out there putting the riders down, like, oh man, this guy brought a, you know. But think about it, they just never know how we go through the race, So
Yeah.
now but it's fun. It's fun, It's okay, Obviously, we respect what these people think, and if people talk something bad about myself, I will say I just kind of brush it off, I just let it go. It bothers me for a little bit, but then the next day, I'm happy to go back and talk to the trainer, and everything is like, okay, let's go move on. And that's the most important thing about this business. You don't have to let it get to you, because once you let it get to you, and then you'll be in problem. It get you gonna get you can be that could be a little problem for yourself.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you got anything else, Sean?
No, that's all I got. I'm glad I finally got to talk to you, Jesus, and we wish you well and can't wait to see you back on the track.
Well, thank you, Sean, and really appreciate it for the time, and thank you, Jimmy.
Oh, thank you so much, Jesus. It means so much that you came onto the show. We are huge fans of you here at HRT, and hopefully we'll have you back on soon after you're up and riding and get to talk about more recent success.
Well, thank you, and I'll be back before long.
Awesome. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Oh, he's the best, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Oh, look at this comment we just had come in from Terry. Hey, your show just keeps getting better. Great guests, great interviews, and fantastic hosts. Well, thank you, Terry.
We got to give a shout out to Terry, because Terry's played host the last 2 days.
Yes,
and he's doing a good job. I mean,
absolutely.
He's played host before I played host. He knows how to do that, and I don't even know how to do that yet. So all the power to Terry there to do all he's doing.
Yes, amen. Way to keep it up, Terry. We appreciate that.
And it was funny when Charles and Terry were saying that Rich gets a little jealous sometimes of their looks. Now they were on together. They didn't have to share the spotlight with Rich.
Okay, well, there you go. I won't tell him you guys said that, okay? Hopefully he's not tuning in right now. Oh, Terry says thanks. Oh, here we go. Rich who?
There's Charles.
Love it. Well, we had a lot of fun today, Rich and I, but hopefully we'll get all of the HR team together to do some of this stuff, because it was fun. We had a blast just kind of wandering around the backside in the morning, and then at the races in the afternoon. We got to do all kinds of fun stuff, get a ton of behind the scenes footage that I cannot wait to release to you guys. Very excited about all of that. What else have we got coming up, Sean?
So tomorrow, I don't know who's on tomorrow. Is it, I don't know. Maybe they can help me. Maybe it's still Terry and Charles. I don't know. But it's Thursday, so it'll be Aqueduct. I know that. And then obviously you got picswiththeprofessor.com, at Professor Sides with Twitter. He's on YouTube as well. And then next week, it'll be Julie back. We have Luis Saez on Monday, trainer Carrie Braun on Tuesday, and the X-Man on Wednesday, Xavier Perez. So
all right. Yes, looking forward to that. I hate that I can't be live with you guys. Julie, we appreciate you watching the show live and contributing. Unfortunately, because of my work schedule, I can't be live. But I watch every show as soon as possible, and I love it. So very cool. All right. Anything else we need to talk about?
No, I think that's it.
Oh, we got our answer here. The two good-looking guys tomorrow. So does that narrow it down for you?
Yes, it does. So
in case it wasn't clear, Terry and Charles.
Terry's playing. Yep, Terry's playing host, and Charles is with him. So there we go.
We got Sean Patrick. Get Sean down here for the Tampa Bay Derby. I would love to. We would have so much fun. He's terrified of flying.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a long trip. Driving.
That's a long drive. Oh, you're crazy. Fly. Just fall
maybe
asleep.
One day. Once it happens one time, then it will probably be okay. But it hasn't happened yet, and I'll be 38 this year, so it's one of those things.
Yeah, I hear you. Rip off the Band-Aid. Just go for it. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us wire to wire on Horse Center tonight. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. We appreciate all the comments. So glad that you're here with us. And I don't know if anyone else got to see the social media today, but we finally got a bunch of the HRT team in the
Winner's Circle.
Winner's Circle. And we will see you there again as soon as possible. All right, everyone, have a good night.